Hello, welcome to part 4 of my HTML CSS Refresher. So we've got some fonts in here, we've got a little bit of layout. Let's look at colors and absolute positioning. So first I'm going to set up a box with a bunch of circles. I'll make my box here, and I'm just going to use a plain old div, and I'm going to call it, I don't know, circle holder. Seems like a good name for a box. And then inside of that, I'm just going to have a bunch of divs that I'm going to make into little circles so we can play with color. Div, div. Actually, I'm not going to do this because I can do a little refresher on nth child. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a quick CSS Grid Demo here. So I have 3 boxes. I want the children of this class, so circle holder div to be, they'll all be like 200 by 200 high, and I'm going to make them be in a row, 3 across. So I'm going to copy that class name so I don't typo. And I'm going to say dot circle holder. And then before I do any classes there, I'm going to also say dot circle holder div. So for this one, let me move this down. Okay. I want them all to have a width of 200 pixels. I want them all to have a height of 200 pixels, and I'm going to give them a border dash radius of 50%, so they're circles. We won't be able to see anything because they're blank. What did I do? Get out of here. Okay, so save that. And then just so we can see them, let's just give them a border of 1 pixel solid black. Now, divs by default are actually display block, and we want to change them. This is where we could change them to display flex, but we're going to use display grid. So, dang, now I have 2 sublimes open. Okay, so we don't want to do it on the div itself, we want to do it on the parent. So I'm going to say display all of my children in a grid. And then the added thing that you have to do with CSS Grid, which you don't in Flex, is that you're going to say grid template columns, and then you have a few different options. I'm just going to use the default user unit that CSS Grid introduces, which is fraction units. So I'm going to say 1FR, 1FR, 1FR. In Flex, this is the equivalent of flex :1. So this is going to give me 3 columns that are the equal width. Maybe. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's give them a color. I've got to get that other sublime quick because it's going to drive me crazy. Okay. I'm going to go to color wheel and just grab some colors. So first we'll do hex. Let's see, I'll do pink, blue, and yellow. So I want to say circle dash holder div, and then I want to say colon, which is, we're now using a pseudo class. I'm going to say nth dash child with parentheses, and then I'm going to say 1. This is going to give that first div a color of this pink. So I'm going to say background color FF8599. Make sure you get that semicolon. Okay, and then let's refresh the right page. Okay, so there's that pink. Now I'm going to do the yellow. Oh no, I lost my colors. Fine. Oh, well, let's see. If I set the default color, maybe I'll get back. Was it a triad? I don't remember what it was. Okay, that looks good. So I'll do light blue on the second one. If I was smart, I would have copied and pasted this first. So I'm going to copy that. And now for this one, I'm going to say the nth child of 2 will be this blue. Let's check that. And then I'll do yellow for the last one. So copy this first. Okay, nth child of 3. So this is the first one, the second one, and the third one that are the divs that are inside of this class. So let's grab that yellow. Okay. Okay, cool. So hex color. Now that I've gone to all this work, I'm actually going to change them to RGB. Okay, so the RGB for the pink is 255, 133, 153. 255, oops, 133, 153. I'll get rid of that. These can have spaces or not. I don't know why I always do them without spaces. Okay, let's make sure that that is correct. No, what did I do? RGB. RBG. Oof, I'm winning today. RGB. There we go. And then the blue is, I wish there was a way to copy this, but there's not. 107, 211, 255. 107, 211, 255. RGB. Okay, there's blue. And then the yellow is 255, 250, 158. $255, $250, $158. Okay. Hooray, they're the same. Now we can change the transparency. So this is RGB. There's 3 values. If we want to add the 4th value, we just have to say RGBA, 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 and then it needs that last value. So I can say, if I just say 1, they will all stay the same. But if I say .1, they will be 10%. Okay, so transparent. Let's get rid of that border now because I don't even want to look at it, and I'm going to change this to something a little darker. I'll just say 50%. Okay, so just to get these to overlap, I think I'll do a different one on position absolute. I'm just going to give this one a margin right of negative number so that it overlaps the blue. So I'm going to say for the first one, margin right. Am I doing this right? I guess I'll find it soon enough. 200 pixels. Margin right. Okay, let's do it in the inspect tool. Margin. Okay, there's that margin right. What if it's like really big? I wonder if it's because, oh yeah, see that? It's like the div is over there, but the circle is not. That's interesting. Okay, we're gonna do position absolute. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make another copy of this so that we have this grid, and I'm going to call this one I don't know, circle holder 2. Seems original. And I'm going to copy all this stuff. And I'm going to call this 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, And this goes away. These are fine, but the thing I want to replace is that I want circle holder 2 to be the parent of all of the children inside of it. So I want to say that this is positioned, I want everything to position relative to me. And then all the divs, I want them to position absolutely. And then I'm actually going to define where they're positioned within each of these children. So I'm going to say the first one, I want it to be a top of 0. So the top left box. Oh, let's make this box a size. So I'm going to make it a width of 100%. And I'm going to give it a height of, our boxes are 200, so I'll just give it a height of 300 pixels. Okay, so we know we have a big enough box, and I'm going to give it a border so we can see it. Pixel solid black. Okay, so for each one of these, this one is going to be a top of 0, and from the left, I want it to be just like, I don't know, 20 pixels, so it's not flush to the left. All of these are going to start at top 0 for now, but the left value will be different. So this left will be 240 pixels, so I'm going to give 20 pixel space in between. I'm just going to kind of make them sort of line up normally. And then this one will be, let's see, 240 plus 20 plus another 200, so 460. Okay, let's see what we've got. Sorry, my indentation is going to drive me crazy. Let's see what a mess I've made. All right, let's close this. Okay, so I got pretty close to the original, but I want to actually, I'm going to smush them together more so we can see the overlap. So if I go in here and I say, if I make this left, let's see, we'll make this left be we'll make it 180, so there's like a 40 pixel overlap, and then this one, I don't know, I'm just going to eyeball it, maybe 380, 360, 340. Kind of like quickly doing math. If the boxes are 200 pixels wide, how do I overlap them? So let's see what I got here. Okay, cool. So this is what you can do with rgba that you can't do with solid color. You can actually like mix the colors in the screen. If these were if they were solid color, they would not blend. They would just be solid. All right. Woohoo, 13 minutes stopping this. All right, thanks.